Yeah, I was speaking that shit, bro. I was speaking that shit, though. Fuck it. If the same niggas don't join this live, I'm just gonna end this jump, bro. Every time I get a phone call, fuck up my live, bro. So, if y'all wanna know the real, I don't know what the fuck this is. If this real YouTube, I don't even fucking know, bro. I have no idea, bro. I have no clue, bro. I'm just doing what I think is the right thing to do, bro. At the end of the day, bro. Like, what other thing or what else could I do, bro? I don't know, fool. I don't know, fool. I don't know, fool. Every time I go live, bro, somebody, my girl call or whoever call me, bro, and that shit go mute, and then nobody could hear me, bro. Like, I was about to give out some very vital information, and then I got muted, bro. I don't know. They probably don't join this joint. They probably tired of this shit. I mean, I go live and get hundreds of views just on BS. I mean, none of them joints. I don't never BS, but on just regular lives, bro. But when I'm speaking that real, bro, I only get like 35, 40 views, bro. You get what I'm saying? When I'm speaking that real, I don't get no views. I don't get no views, bro. I don't get no views. I'm speaking that real spill, bro. I'm speaking that real shit. I don't get no views, bro. And my shit got muted. My last live got muted, so I went back up live, bro. And we was talking about the realest conversation in the world, bro. It was the realest conversation. One of the realest conversations in human history, bro. If anybody know anybody over there with the Nation of Islam, tell them I need help and I need rescue. I need to be rescued. It's a fact, though. I'm one of the last ones. And if they don't really stand or live by that, because I don't trust nobody, so it's kind of hard to rescue me. I mean, you could show me the light at the end of the tunnel, and I still might not leave out that side or where you flash the light because I don't really trust nothing. I'd rather just stay inside the tunnel or stay inside the manhole or the cave because I don't trust nothing, bro. I need to be rescued, but that don't mean I'm going to allow somebody to come rescue me. So I'm not trying to get rescued, but I need to be rescued. So that's really on you. That ain't really something that I control or anything like that, bro. Like, I decipher information probably way better than anybody, than the average human being, damn sure, but way more than a lot of people, bro. Like, I decipher things, and I'm not just talking about regular information. Like, I have what they call swift adaptive thinking. Well, I invented that, adaptive thinking. I have adaptive conscious thinking and adaptive subconscious thinking. So my girl called me back, and she think like I'm supposed to bend and control the world, huh? Which I am, is my girl, but I learned something that when you come somewhere with somebody, you leave with them, type of thing. And you only go against that under certain circumstances if the circumstances is extreme, or somebody that you came with completely do something to jeopardize or put the whole group in danger. Is the only time that you go against that. And she left. So once somebody leaves, right now I do not have the capabilities of protecting them outside of them being in my vicinity of where I can see them or where I know that they're somewhere in the vicinity of where I'm at, i.e. the house, they in the room, or they in the house and they in the bathroom, or they chilling on the steps, or they chilling in the basement. I cannot protect her, or I do not know what she is doing outside of my vicinity or in the realm of space that I am occupying. So she chose to leave. I kind of have to keep moving forward, if that makes sense. I had to continue on the calling and mission that God called and sent me for. Let alone she was the cause of the discord that had transpired to the reason of why she left. I did not I was not the root problem to the effect of what caused her to leave. That was not my fault. Simple. I am not normal. I've been had to come to this realization and reconciliation. Simple. I've never been normal. I've been put in places that normal people don't get put. If I live in a time and space now where I have no one to trust. I cannot trust my mom. I cannot trust my dad. I cannot even trust my own brother. I cannot trust my sister. If I have no one to trust, what would you presume of me? Is that normal? I have no friends. I cannot trust my girlfriend. I really can only trust my dog, and it's not even all the way my dog. Because guess what? My girlfriend left. She took my son, my dog. My dog relies on me. I do not rely on my dog. Only thing I rely on my dog for is just happiness and to love me genuinely for who I am and to allow me to take care of him so that I feel as though I have a purpose. So when he is gone, I pretty much have no purpose other than to live to see him again, hopefully. And there is no guarantees in this life. None whatsoever. The only guarantee is God. And that's enough for me. I believe and love God. I love God. I love God more than anything, as I'm supposed to, because I am a spiritual being. So you got to buckle down because it's getting serious. You got to ask yourself, how do you want to conduct and live your life? And how do you want to die? And which side do you want to end on? There's a beginning, but there is no end. Just like they say you could burn in hell for eternity, which might not all the way be true, but it might not be the physical burning, but it could be the spiritual or the soulful burning, which we all know sometimes mental agony is 100 times, 1,000 times worse than physical agony. Some even say you give up mentally first before you do physically or emotionally. Some say you can control your mental and emotional, your physical and your emotional with your mental. You can change the way you feel with just a thought, or change your trajectory with just the thought of an action, or your thought leading to an action. right? If you think you smile and you feel better, guess what? You could smile and it kind of does make you feel better. Especially if you were going through something that made you feel sad or a trying time. You could just still smile. It's a choice. That's how powerful the brain is. Facts. You have two brains, the intestines, and what's inside the skull. You have to balance them both. See, I have a big heart, so I could think with my heart too. But I also have to use what's above it so that I don't allow it to get scarred or get misused or get hurt or lead me down a trap. Because people are deceptive and people are conniving and people are hurtful. But I learned something positive though. See, we all know that hurt people hurt people. And so this guy told me, help people help people. Does that make sense? I had to learn that in this trying time. That people who help people that help people. The same way that people who hurt people hurt people. And you know what that made me think of? How come hurt people don't hurt people that hurt people? I mean, they do. There's no discrimination with hurt. But it's not typical. That's kind of how I tried to become a little bit. I was a hurt person, so I thought it was right that I hurt people that hurt people. But that's still a sickness thought. That's still a sick person's way of thinking. When it needs to be, if you're sick, you try to cure and help yourself and help others still, and preventing them from getting sick. The best cure is prevention and abstinence. So if you prevent and abstain from what can hurt you and get you sick, that's better than getting sick and trying to cure and help yourself. In most cases, I would say 99 out of 100. Some of us do need to build our immune systems, but that is more so of a strong person's trait. Not everybody is that strong or strong enough to do that. You have to be very, very strong, extraordinary in order to do that. To experience something that you have little to no knowledge of, in order to make your will stronger. You got to know it's a willpower thing. Not might, will. See, the CIA and the FBI know something. That the ones with the strongest spiritual will power are the ones that get through the toughest, most agonizing, most dangerous situations and circumstances. The most pressing, the most complex, the most difficult situations. Somebody, a spiritual person with willpower, your spiritual will. That's why I asked, where are you? Yeah, I wear this chain. I'm not really a chain type of guy. I'm more so of a watch type of guy. But yeah, I wear this chain. No, it dangles, dabbles. It's a real chain. But I want to take it off. I kind of want to be in the bear to see how strong am I, how willful am I spiritually, truly. Because that's what matters to me. Not none of the rest of this stuff and looking good. I don't wear it to look good. I actually do wear it for the unk. And because it looks cool then too. And it does give me an extra sense of energy and a sense of power, of strength, in the correct way. But true strength is flexibility. So I want to be as dynamic as possible. See, right when you're the strongest, or when you think you're the strongest, is when the devil comes. And that's when God leaves you on your own to allow him to test you and see if you will retain all that you have come from to get through this new situation that the devil will put you through. And you'll be like, dang, I'm at my greatest power, my greatest strength. And you'll feel like you're the weakest. Like you have no tools, like you know nothing. Naive. Bright-eyed. Crippled. Because he'll hit you with something that you were completely unprepared for, that you did not consider. Then what will you do? Simple. Because anything complex, you make it simple. You got to know that discipline and attitude go hand in hand. My question to you is, which one is more powerful? Which one is more important? As a mastermind who knows about strategic, meticulous thinking, I know you don't put one over the other. They're both vital and important. Discipline is the measurement of your knowledge and action at that time. And attitude is the trajectory, literally, of your chakras and way of thinking. And spiritual will, the trajectory. And attitude and discipline go hand in hand. They're full circle. Where your discipline reaches its limits, your attitude is supposed to kick in and take note of what you do not consider for the new steps that you need to take to move forward in order to get through this obstacle, to learn and gain everything that you need, which fine-tunes and refines your discipline again. Discipline and attitude, they go hand in hand. What's up, Shoni? Brazy Shoni? I gotta put the charger on this thing real quick. I'll probably be ending in about 10 minutes. Cherie? Oh, yes, Cherie? No, I didn't. You burnt. I don't even know if I got This shit get deep. This shit get deep. You nasty, you fire. Why you trolling me? What you trolling me for? It gets real though. I know I'm supposed to keep going. But see, I'm not the type of teacher to neglect any student. I give all my students the equal amount of attention that they need. All of them. I don't neglect. All things considered. That's the type of person I'm trying to become and trying to be. I consider all things. But I know if y'all ignoring him to hear my information, then I should too. Discipline and attitude. Do you work on them both? Do you know that you need the right discipline to know that you need the right attitude? And do you keep the right attitude to grow your discipline and keep the right discipline? Sounds simple. I make it simple. But it's extremely difficult. After all, they say we're only humans. So they say. If you limit yourself. Nothing wrong with limits. Otherwise, how would you have a challenge? What do you do when you're challenged? I hope you don't set limits. Not until you've completed your challenge. Especially if your challenge requires you not to set limits. But then some would say that it's smart to still set limits. Even if you have a challenge with no limits. That's why I said limits aren't a bad thing. But if you have limits, do you know that you really don't have limits? Did you know that if you don't have limits, you have limits? Your limit is that you're unlimited. And you're unlimited, which means you have a limit. See, I could get deep. It wouldn't make any sense if you haven't thought of these things before. It's not up to me to expand your mind. That's why we talked about attitude and discipline. It's up to you. That's a challenge that you have to give yourself. I can only spark. You have to be your own catalyst. There's only but so much someone like me can do for you in these types of times now. Best thing you could do is truly be there for yourself. If you like me, you had to be your own master, your own teacher. Learn as much as you could, wherever you could. Do as much as you could, wherever you could, wherever you can. Which is probably what's best. Because then you teach yourself. You learn. You can pull and gain information from wherever you choose. Maybe it's not best to know everything. I mean, ask yourself that. Are you disciplined enough to know everything? You know what everything considers? Are you the type of person to be all things considered, all things neglected? Have you ever thought that way? Have you ever had to think that way? How do you feel about that now? Is that a challenge? Does it feel impossible? Does it feel foreign? Is it of interest? Does it spark you to want to do that now? To do something different? Probably not. You haven't been put in that situation. You haven't probably had that life experience yet. Probably haven't experienced that type of win or that type of loss in your life. You probably don't know how serious things are out here. You probably think life and the world is just business as usual when it isn't. Nothing is what you think it is, and nothing is what it seems. Nothing. What do you know about the devil? What do you know about God? What do you not know about God? What do you not know about the devil? You know these names, you know these entities. But what if God is the devil? And what if the devil is God? What if there's no difference? There is. I'm just asking a real question. What if the devil is not a bad entity? What if God is not a good entity? But we do have to decipher, and we do have to create these distinctions. So, in common sense, yes, God is good. But that does not mean that the devil isn't. See, in deeper thinking and in a mastermind's thinking, which the devil is a mastermind, you'll know that the devil is not all bad. See, he's a deceiver, a deceptor, which means he has to do whatever in his power to trick you, even if it means doing some good, right? Have you ever thought about that? Let's give an example. The United States of America would fund its own rebellion, would fund its own revolution. Of course, the smart question is to ask, why? Why would something evil fund its own demise? One would say it doesn't know. Another would say for a challenge. Maybe it feels strong enough to take on anything and it needs this in order to get stronger. Like an antibody, if you will. That is how this country operates. Right? Test a bomb, see its impact. That's also rocket science. 99 warheads, but only 98 anti-missiles. What about that one missile that could potentially get through and end all civilization? That's what rocket science is. We just did some. You would say you would try to blow up 2 in 1, and you did rocket science. But then you have other things to consider. Like, what about the ones that you miss? Direction and trajectory and all sorts of things. Rocket science is not simple. It's very complex. If Adam didn't bite in the apple, we wouldn't have electricity, some say. Another example. The devil saves your grandmother, cures her of all sickness and ill, but at the cost of taking your soul. Another example. The devil can grant you powers that allow you to do many different things. Leaves it as your choice whether you want to do good or bad. But you can never be in your natural form just like him for too long. See, he doesn't have a natural form anymore because God stripped him of that. But you still do. Another example. What you don't think about is, if everything is not all good, is it worth it? As a mastermind, I would say no. Because the ultimate strategy is to win. A true strategist knows how important every part is. Otherwise, what is strategy? What is being meticulous? Master. What does it take to be a master? In the highest realm, the mind. Master mind. Mastery. Have you read that book? I have. I can only remember very little at this time, but I remember the conceptual and the concepts that I learned within the book. So what does it take? Master mind. Well, you have to go through the motions, that's for certain. You have to make those mistakes. You have to be all considering. And you have to build up those experiences. And you also have to learn from the mistakes of someone else. As well as record your own and continue fine-tuning and improving. And give dedication, hard work, and focus. Mastermind. Strategic and meticulous. So if the devil bargains with you as a mastermind, I would say that's not the route to go, because all good is being neglected for his bargaining chip, and you do not bargain good. There is no ifs or buts. It's all or nothing. That's like losing one child in your class on a field trip. Do you bargain that? One child for the safety of the whole class? Some classrooms actually operate that way. Right? Put this one child in timeout and everybody gets to go outside. What do we neglect? That child doesn't learn. That child doesn't engage in play and fun. His friends. The classroom chemistry. The good that he does, regardless of his behavior. Both feasible and unfeasible, we will say, because it might not more so may mean that it's bad or good. Can a child really be bad? Or is he just an agitator or a mover in his own way? It only means it's just not feasible for the system that he's put in place. So it might be unfeasible at the time because of the system that's put in place. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with that child. Not at all. Maybe it means there's something wrong with that system. And systems aren't all bad. But like I said, we're masterminds, so we don't bargain for good. So maybe it means that system isn't all good, which means that something has been bargained or something has been given away or neglected and not considered for something else. No, it's not the child or the part. It's the system. What are your intentions? because the devil had free will just like you. The only difference between you and the devil is he was actually born in paradise or the first heaven, and you were born here. Which also, if you don't know, means you could be worse than the devil. Another example. Yes, people can be worse than the devil. See, what's crazy is the devil at one point in time was one of the most powerful angels in the Lord's collective or army. And it also means that the devil is not the author of evil. Which means he learned it. Yeah, they call him the author. How can he really be the author? That's why I asked this question on my last live. If you're born inside of a trap, do you ever know it? If the devil is born inside of paradise, where or how does he learn otherwise? He obviously had to make one mistake that wasn't corrected and kept continuing until eventually he caused so much peril and chaos that he had to be removed or put somewhere else. What do you know about God? That'll give you your answer, especially of what you were taught about how God was before Jesus came. At least from what I was taught. God is this, God is a jealous God. I mean, why would you have to ask God for mercy? Why was Jesus like God's mercy cursor? Before Jesus, God would not forgive you for your sins. After Jesus, God forgives all for his sins in the blood and Holy Spirit of Jesus Christ. Why did it take Jesus? God didn't kill Jesus, but he let him die. Why would God let his one true son pass? Why did he equate that for the greater good of all mankind? I mean, if it's God, shouldn't he have been come to these realizations on his own, especially in the life of Jesus, way before his death? Jesus had the model to the utmost of what it meant to truly take care of God's people. And that was with his life, regardless of if he was resurrected or not. Do you know that the story of Jesus is about resurrection and shape-shifting? You know there, I don't want to get into it, but it's just food for thought. See, Jesus was a mastermind because he didn't bargain. He didn't bargain good and evil. He was all good. And he still was killed. And God still let him pass away. Just for the forgiveness of all people. Present, past, and future. It was like a new paradigm, a new change in the way God dealt with us. And something was born. Baptism. Jesus did not teach Christianity. Christianity was born about the life of Jesus Christ. Jesus was a mastermind. He did not bargain good and bad. He literally, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually was all good. He was perfect. And God allowed him to pass. I'm not saying be perfect. As a mastermind, I already know that you are. What you don't know is you're incomplete. What God leaves is for you to put together your own pieces to your puzzle. Does that make sense? And your pieces of your puzzle are revealed to you in the challenges, trials, and tribulations and obstacles that you go through with yourself first, with the environment around you, and what is contained within it, which is an entity called the devil, among his minions, his technology, and his demons. But what did I say was first? You. And what did I tell you earlier? You can be worse than the devil. So if you can be worse than the devil, and we know about good and how we don't bargain, then that means naturally you're better than the devil. Which means how you deal and interact and move forward is your choice about how you choose your discipline and your attitude for how you handle the situations, your environment, and the things that are contained within it. First battle is self. So if Jesus was perfect, if God has an army, if the devil has a military, what's the battle? And you're the common denominator. God is the common denominator, and you're a common factor. I believe you have your answer. Because obviously Jesus, well, we all always existed, but Jesus didn't always exist physically, meaning he was always in the making, but he wasn't always here. But now he's always there. Maybe that just means the battle is to get back to God. Maybe what you learn that changes you on the other side is seeing that God was incomplete too. Complete. But maybe being incomplete means being complete. Maybe that's why they have the theory that the universe is always expanding. Maybe that's why God still hasn't ended everything. Because he's still infatuated with everything that he learns from everything. Good and bad. He's seen how bad could change. He's seen how good can change. Maybe God could still be surprised. So let me ask you, as a mastermind or mastermind in the making, what will you do to surprise God? Because if you've paid attention to what I've said, you'll learn that there's a natural underestimation from God to us. He even underestimated his own son, Jesus Christ. Because I think God underestimated himself. I don't believe God quite understood what he was giving us, all these gifts. So he didn't really know, which is a natural underestimation. Not in the way that we think, in a godly, all supreme, superior type of way. All powerful type of way. To give a little bit of his self to every single last one of us. For us to achieve all the possibilities that he's already measured out. Maybe my challenge to you is to think how God thinks and how Jesus thinks. Maybe you could help somebody. Maybe it's the devil. What do you know about the devil? Because if you've learned from everything that I've said and you've learned more than what I've said, or you know anything about the devil, you know one thing. His little ass need help. That's a fact. Just food for thought. Even God needs help. Yes, that's true. You can ask questions. Nothing wrong with that. Are you asking productive questions? The right questions? That's the real question. Help yourself. That's how you help someone else. And don't never say nobody didn't love you.